So, you're a Division 2 vet, but you want to get into the Division 2 Chinese version. Well, I've got everything you need to know to help you make your move to the east as easy as possible. I'm starting to see more and more players cross over to this version of the game. I've been in the division since day one. I've been covering the Chinese version for the past few months, and I've made plenty of mistakes along the way. So hopefully this guide will help you not repeat my mistakes and make your progression as seamless as possible. Today we're going to go over the most important things that you need to know. This guide is aimed at current Division 2 players who are already proficient in the game, but after jumping into the Chinese server feel a little lost and are not sure how things work over here. I'll try my best to make it as simple as possible, so sit back and relax while I fire through everything, and I'll also add timestamps below so you can skip to whatever section is the most relevant for you. First up, you need to download the game. So head over to the official Division 2 China website, click in the top right hand corner which will download the Wii game installer, run that and that will in turn download the game. Once downloaded, you will need a QQ account to log in. You can sign up for a QQ account by downloading the app from your phone's app store. The app itself is in Chinese, so it'll be a bit of a learning curve on using it. Now, being accepted for an account outside of China is total pot luck. It took me months of trying, which is why most people I see buy a QQ account from third-party sellers. This is very risky in my opinion, but if you're lucky, you'll never have a problem. However, if you do, you're most likely shit out of luck. Once you get your account, log into the Wii game app and launch the game. You'll have the usual character creation. You'll need to get to the White House, just as usual. After you've spoke to Manny upstairs, head downstairs to speak to the quartermaster. He will give you the option to boost straight to level 40. This will then send you over to the summit to start your journey in China. After reaching the summit, you will receive your new Kina watch, which is very different to the watch that you're currently used to, but we'll jump back to that in just a minute. The summit in China is used for a very different reason than in the main game. Every floor that you climb, you gain a point for your watch, making the summit the only way to unlock watch talents. Reaching certain floors unlocks different world tiers, which increases your chance at getting a better grade of loot. Plus it also increases your chance of more modules dropping, which I'll cover off later. Also, completing floors gives you some vanity items and also some in-game currency and some materials which come in really handy. The first thing you want to do as a new player is climb as many floors as you can. As you are new, chances are you'll only be able to climb maybe 10 floors, as in this version of the summit the difficulty increases the further that you climb. Once you climb a few floors, you'll want to put them points into your watch. The watch changes every season, so what you're seeing here may not be the same as when you start your journey. The watch, like ours, is divided into 4 different areas. In the top left we have GSF buffs. In the top right we have talent buffs. In the bottom left we've got equipment talent buffs, and in the bottom right we've got agent buffs. The maximum amount of watch points you can earn is 100, so you can only max out 10 of the 16 bonuses. However, you can respec it anytime you like, and you can also set it per loadout, which comes in really handy. Now is a good time to return to DC, and it's time to start thinking about gear and builds. Targeted loot is the same here, but gear pieces cannot be targeted, only brand sets, gear sets and weapon archetypes. You should also understand that as the watch changes per season, so does the meta, and your favourite build that you use in the main game may not be so great on the Chinese server. There are different grades of gear in China. There's a regular gear set and brand set items that you know and love in our game. However, they've recently introduced a tier 1 and tier 2 gear, whose stats can actually be optimised higher than standard gear, making tier 1 and tier 2 gear the most sought after in the game. All named and exotic items have an extra attribute, making them more important to your build strength than regular non-named gear. All attributes on your gear and your weapons that you obtain are locked, and they're at the lowest possible value. These attributes need to be unlocked and then optimized to raise their stats. To do this, you need materials and lots of them. There are lots of different materials in the Chinese game, so I'm going to show you the most important ones to aid you unlocking and optimizing your build's full potential. First, we have optimization cards. These are used for optimizing your stats. They come in 3 colours. Yellow is the main card used, but as you improve your stats, blue cards are needed and then some pink cards as you max the attribute out. Next is the standard unlock components. These unlock attributes on normal brand or gear sets. The special unlock components are for named items, and the exotic components are for exotic or legendary items. You gather the materials needed by completing in-game or web activities, which I'll cover later in the video. You can access unlocking and optimization from your benches, however I find it easier just to do it straight from my menu. For every attribute that you unlock or optimize, the cost and the amount of materials rises, making maxing out a piece of gear a very long process. Optimization works the same way. Once a stat is unlocked, it can be optimized to its full potential. There is no need to have stats in your library, because in this game it just doesn't work that way. If you make a mistake or a change of mind, but you've spent all those valuable mats, hope is not lost. If you destroy the gear, you will receive back all the materials that you've spent unlocking it and optimizing it. Yes, you may lose a piece of gear, but at least you get to keep the materials. Last season, a PvE only DarkZone mode was added to the game. This mode is time limited to 2 90-minute sessions per day and a third session added at weekends. The server size was originally 32 players but has since been reduced to 24 to reduce server strain. The big reason you should be playing this activity is because it is by far and away the fastest way to earn materials needed to improve your build. As you kill and clear landmarks, you pick up contaminated samples. Once these samples are extracted, they can then be used to purchase materials or vanity items at the new DarkZone vendor. The speed you can earn these is quite staggering, making the block DarkZone a must for all new players. Gear in the Chinese game has no mod slots, unlike our game. Their mod system here is very different and way better in my opinion. There are 27 total slots available to insert mods. Each slot is unlocked by reaching certain gear proficiency ranks, which I'll go over a little bit later. There are 3 module types. We have firearms, defense and skill, and 1 universal module type. Each of the 3 module types have 3 submods, which are as follows. Each module can be upgraded up to level 8. You need 3 level 1 modules to make a level 2, and then 3 level 2 modules to make a level 3, and so on and so on. The process of gathering modules, upgrading modules, takes a while, as you are limited by how many you can earn per day. But things like increasing your summit level increases your daily amount earnable, and by doing web activities you can also earn more modules. So let's take a look at the crafting benches. In here we can upgrade, we can unlock and we can craft. First of all, on the upgrading, a lot of gear that drops below level 40, and in this section you can actually upgrade it to level 40 and it costs you a few mats. The next section is for unlocking attributes, which we've already covered. You can do it from your menu, but you can also do it from here. I find it easier from the menu. And the next one is crafting. This section allows you to craft whether it's legendary weapons or whether you're going to craft exotic weapons or even named items or regular items. So very straightforward. All the vets out there will know what they're doing. When we pop over to the next bench, you can see here, this is where we control our proficiency. We can optimize gear, we can recalibrate, and our libraries here, similar to our game. In the first one, this is proficiency. Works quite similar to ours, where you can donate. There's only 3 different things you can donate here. Obviously, the more you donate, the higher it goes in proficiency. And remember, the higher you get in proficiency, the more module slots will open. So very important to be working on your proficiency along the way. Next up we have optimization. I've covered this already because you can just access it straight from your menu, but it works exactly the same. Select the item, select what you want to optimize, spend the mats and off you go. Next up we've got the recalibration bench. The biggest issue here is that, or the biggest difference should I say, is that you can only recalibrate the attribute type and you can't put a higher attribute value on anything. And also the other thing you can do is recalibrate a talent. So you need to farm the right piece of gear with the right talent. And lastly is the library. With the library, it works exactly the same as ours. You need to donate a piece of gear to put that attribute into your library, and then those attributes can be recalibrated onto gear. Daily and weekly projects will progress your season track, but through doing these projects along with the seasonal stuff, they will earn you lots of rewards in the form of materials and in-game currency. Some special legendary components can be also earned over the season to aid you in crafting the latest and greatest legendary weapon that has just entered the game. Clearing raids, incursions and the new version and the weekly legendary missions also reward you with caches and credits. Some of these credits can be used to buy blueprints for exotic and named items, which is really nice. You can access the Welfare Centre in the menu to see all of the current web-based activities. Participating in these web activities is very, very lucrative. You can earn free vanity items, lots of materials, gear, modules and credits, and a lot more really cool stuff, including things like special named gear that is not available in the game. So pay close attention to this, and the amount you can claim is absolutely wild. I'll just quickly go over some of the types of credits in the game for all the different vendors. First, the standard credit, which is called electronic points over here. This is used at all the normal vendors, as well as it's needed for crafting and upgrading gear, just like in our game. Next up, we've got clan credits. These credits can only be earned through either gaining a clan cache weekly or doing some clan raids. Other than that, there's no other way of getting these. Upgrade blueprint tokens can be spent at the vendor outside of the White House. These tokens are used to buy blueprint upgrades which can upgrade your current named and exotic gear to a higher tier. Medal of Courage credits can be used at another vendor that's outside of the White House. These are earned by doing high priority orders, and you can buy things like tier 1, tier 2 caches here, as well as universal mods. Collection vouchers can be used at the new DarkZone vendor. I previously covered this in the DarkZone section. These vouchers are what you gain when you extract the contaminated samples. And lastly, we have raw material points. Now these, in my opinion, are the most important. These can be earned in game, but you can spend these in the in-game shop. In that shop you can buy every single type of component or material that you possibly need to save you spending any sort of premium credits. So really worthwhile stacking these bad boys. And there it is, agents. I finally finished this Veteran's Beginner's Guide to the Chinese game. I appreciate all of you who have checked this out and have stuck around till the end. I hope you'll find this video very useful. I've tried my best to consolidate all the information possible. Any questions that you may have, feel free to leave it in the comments below and I'll do my very best to respond and help out where I can. Have a great time crossing over, and until next time, bye bye now.